Hollywood creates stars, but once in a generation, it creates a force. She was called dangerous, misunderstood, too wild for Hollywood, and too honest for its rules. Angelina Jolie was never meant to fit in. She was meant to stand apart. This is not just the story of an actress. This is the story of a woman who turned pain into power and fame into purpose. Angelina Jolie Voigt was born on June 4, 1975 in Los Angeles, California, into a world already shaped by fame. Her father, Jon Voight, was an Academy Award-winning actor. Her mother, Marceline Bertrand, gave up her own acting career to raise her children. But behind the Hollywood name was a fractured home. Her parents divorced when she was just a child. Her relationship with her father slowly collapsed, leaving a wound that would follow her for years. Angelina once said, "My mother was my emotional anchor. She taught me compassion." At school, Angelina didn't feel beautiful. She felt different, alone. She struggled with depression, self-harm, and the feeling that she didn't belong anywhere. While other kids dreamed of popularity, Angelina questioned existence itself. Ironically, acting, the very world that broke her family, became her escape. She enrolled at the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute, studying method acting with an intensity far beyond her age. Her early roles were dark, disturbing, uncomfortable. But that was the point. Angelina didn't want to be likable. She wanted to be real. In the mid-1990s, Hollywood noticed something unsettling. This young woman wasn't pretending. She was living every role. Her breakthrough came with TV films like George Wallace and Gia. Playing supermodel Gia Karanji, Angelina exposed the raw truth of addiction, fame, and loneliness. Critics were stunned. This wasn't acting, this was emotional destruction on screen. In 2000, she won her first Academy Award for Girl Interrupted. Standing on the Oscar stage, she wasn't smiling like a Hollywood star. She looked overwhelmed, almost afraid, because fame had arrived, and Angelina Jolie knew exactly how dangerous it could be. But the Oscar was only the beginning. Soon, she would become Hollywood's most controversial woman, a global sex symbol, and a magnet for scandal. And yet, her darkest years were still ahead. Hollywood had seen talented actresses before, but it had never seen Angelina Jolie. She wasn't chasing fame, fame was chasing her. And when it finally caught her, it almost destroyed her. In 1999, Angelina starred in Girl Interrupted. Her character was unstable, unpredictable, dangerously honest, and audiences believed her because she wasn't pretending. That year, at just 24 years old, Angelina Jolie won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, an Oscar. Overnight, she went from rising talent to Hollywood royalty. But success came with a cost. Before the Oscar, she had already stunned critics in Gia. Playing supermodel Gia Karanji, Angelina exposed addiction, fame, and self-destruction with brutal realism. She won a Golden Globe Award, a Screen Actors Guild Award. Hollywood realized something unsettling. This woman wasn't acting darkness, she understood it. Then came Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. Muscular, fearless, iconic. Angelina Jolie became a global action superstar. The film earned hundreds of millions worldwide and transformed her into an international icon. For the first time, a female action hero dominated the box office. She wasn't just a star, she was a phenomenon. But while the world celebrated her image, Angelina was unraveling behind the scenes. She spoke openly about drug use, depression, and self-harm. She wore controversy like armor, wore a vial of blood around her neck, refused to apologize, refused to be safe. The media labeled her Hollywood's most dangerous woman. But danger for Angelina was a cry for meaning. Her marriage to Billy Bob Thornton became tabloid mythology. They shocked America, confused Hollywood, fascinated the world. Angelina later admitted, "I didn't care if I lived or died." Fame had given her everything, except peace. Then, in 2001, while filming Tomb Raider in Cambodia, Angelina saw real suffering. Refugees, orphans, lives untouched by Hollywood. For the first time, her pain felt small. She later said, "That's when my life began to change." Angelina Jolie had conquered Hollywood. She had won its highest awards, broken its box office rules. But now, she wanted something fame could never give her: purpose, redemption, a reason to live. Angelina Jolie never believed she was meant to live long, but suddenly she found a reason to live fully. That reason had a name: motherhood. In 2002, Angelina adopted her first child, Maddox, from Cambodia. She wasn't married, she wasn't trying to prove anything. She didn't call a press conference. She simply became a mother. Angelina later said, "It changed my entire sense of responsibility. I had to be alive." For the first time, her life wasn't about pain, it was about protection. Then came Zahara, adopted from Ethiopia, and later, Pax from Vietnam. Angelina Jolie wasn't collecting headlines, she was building a family. In 2004, on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Angelina met Brad Pitt. At the time, Brad was America's golden boy, married, beloved, untouchable. Their on-screen chemistry was undeniable, but what followed would explode across the world. When Brad's marriage ended, the media wrote one narrative: Angelina Jolie, the villain. Once again, she was judged. Once again, she was blamed. But behind the noise, something deeper was happening. Together, they became Brangelina, the most famous couple on Earth. They didn't just attend premieres, they traveled to war zones, refugee camps, humanitarian missions. They expanded their family: Shiloh, Knox, Vivian, 6 children from different parts of the world. Angelina once said, "My children are my home." For a moment, it seemed like she had everything: love, purpose, balance. But perfection is an illusion. Behind closed doors, the pressure was immense. Raising 6 children, living under constant media surveillance, balancing activism, filmmaking, and fame. Angelina wasn't just a star anymore. She was a symbol, and symbols are not allowed to break. But human beings do. Angelina began directing films, stories about war, pain, loss, because those were the stories she understood. She wasn't chasing box office numbers, she was chasing meaning. Yet even with purpose, the cracks were growing. And soon, the world would witness another collapse. In 2016, one announcement would shock Hollywood: a divorce, a legal battle, a family torn apart. Angelina Jolie was about to face the most painful chapter of her life. Every love story Hollywood celebrates eventually faces the truth it tries to hide. In 2016, Angelina Jolie made a decision that would change her life forever. She filed for divorce from Brad Pitt, and the world exploded. What followed was not a celebrity breakup, it was war. Headlines turned brutal, rumors spread faster than facts. Every move was analyzed, every silence was weaponized. Angelina asked for full custody of her children. The public chose sides. Once again, she became the target. Cold, manipulative, difficult. But behind closed doors, Angelina was fighting for one thing only: her children. Angelina withdrew from Hollywood. No red carpets, no interviews, no explanations. She focused on therapy, stability, healing. She later said, "I had to put myself back together so my children could feel safe." This wasn't about image anymore. This was about survival. Long before the divorce, Angelina had already faced death. Because of a high genetic risk of cancer, she made the decision to undergo preventative surgeries. She spoke openly about it, not for attention, but for awareness. In a world that demanded perfection, Angelina chose truth. She reminded millions of women that strength is not about silence, it's about choice. As the legal battles continued, Angelina slowly returned, not as a movie star, but as a filmmaker, a humanitarian, and a mother first. She spoke at the United Nations, advocated for refugees, fought for women's rights. Fame no longer defined her. Purpose did. Angelina Jolie lost a marriage, lost privacy, lost the illusion of a fair media narrative. But she refused to lose herself. She once said, "I don't want to be perfect. I want to be honest, and honesty comes at a price." After years of silence, pain, and rebuilding, Angelina Jolie was no longer running from her past. She was ready to define her legacy, not as a scandal, not as a symbol, but as something far greater. Angelina Jolie no longer needed to be understood. She had already survived what most people never speak about: pain, loss, reinvention, and now she was ready to be remembered. Angelina stepped away from the spotlight that once defined her. She became a United Nations special envoy, traveling to conflict zones most celebrities never see. Refugee camps, war-torn countries, forgotten lives. She didn't speak for them, she listened. She once said, "If I can do something to help, then it's my responsibility to try." This wasn't charity, it was commitment. As a filmmaker, Angelina chose stories that were uncomfortable. Films about war, sexual violence, survival, human dignity. She knew they wouldn't be blockbusters, but she believed stories could still matter, even if they didn't entertain. Hollywood taught her how to be famous. Life taught her how to be useful. Angelina Jolie changed the definition of beauty. Not perfection, not silence, not obedience, but depth. A woman who admitted fear. A woman who chose truth over approval. A woman who refused to be reduced to her worst moments. She wasn't flawless, she was human. Above all else, Angelina Jolie is a mother. Everything she rebuilt, her career, her voice, her future, was for her children. She once said, "Everything I do for them. Not for headlines, not for applause, for love." Angelina Jolie's story is not a fairy tale. It is messy, contradictory, painful, and that is what makes it powerful. She reminds us that you can be broken and still become strong, that you can lose everything and still choose purpose. Angelina Jolie was never meant to be ordinary. She was meant to evolve. Not just as an actress, not just as a humanitarian, but as a woman who turned survival into legacy.